Yesterday afternoon was the windiest that I have ever been in the bus. The whole thing was rocking. Is this thing about to tip over from the wind? What is up, everybody, and welcome back to the BBA bus. I just spent 2 nights camped on the shore of Lake Mead, and they were 2 of the most stormy and windy nights I have had in the bus yet. Now I'm headed through the Valley of Fire State Park, and then I'm gonna meet up with a couple friends this evening somewhere else on the lake. So we made it into Valley of Fire State Park, but as you can probably tell by the sky behind me, today is less than favorable weather. Sun's not out, it's a little bit blustery, the clouds are heavy, and it kind of switches on and off between little bits of snow, little bits of rain, and then dry. Instead of coming out here and expecting to get some incredible light, gorgeous shots, beautiful sceneries, I'm just taking her for a little walk because it's still early in the morning. I got so much time left in the day. And I wanted to talk to you guys about how I find places to park. The first thing that I want to talk about with regards to where I find places to park is my general strategy. We'll get into resources in a minute. But first, what I try to do specifically when it comes to parking. I don't want to park in a parking lot in a city. If you're talking about safety and security, that makes me feel less secure to being somewhere off in the boonies by myself. If I'm out on BLM land, likelihood is that everyone surrounding me is in the same position I am in. They're looking for a place to park and sleep safely. If I'm parked in a parking lot, I'm in a big urban area. There's tens of thousands of people within a couple of miles from me, and I can't vouch for any of their intentions. What is it? What? We can't go that way. We gotta go this way. My number one resource is iOverlander. There's a lot of resources out there, and I have a couple others that sometimes I check, sometimes I don't, but my go-to resource is iOverlander. It's a fantastic crowdsourced app that you can filter exactly what you're looking for. Dispersed camping, established campgrounds, hotels, motels, water fill, propane, whatever you need for this kind of lifestyle, whether in your van, bus, RV, your car camping, iOverlander will tell you all of it. Hey, what's your deal? So what then does my process look like? Maybe 2 to 3 days before I know I'm gonna move from one place to another general area, I'll start looking for spots where I can camp. Start this process based on where I know I want to go. I usually try to hit some cool nature-y spots, whether that's a national park, a state park, another sort of just iconic looking place that I've wanted to visit, and I'll set my filters on iOverlander to look at only dispersed camping because my priority is to find a free open place where I can just pull up and park. I try and make sure that I prioritize my ability to be disconnected from any sort of utilities or accessories. That's why I choose dispersed places. I mean, they're also free, which you can't argue with. If I had to book a camping site, it'd be 15, 20, sometimes 30 bucks per night, depending on where I'm looking. So let's say I want to go to Valley of Fire State Park outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. So I'll pull up iOverlander and I'll look at Valley of Fire State Park. And then I'll zoom out a little bit. Remember, my filters are set to dispersed camping, so it'll pop up with a bunch of little green dots all over the place. And when I see a green dot, I'll click on it, and there's a little description, a user-based description, and some are better than others. Some have pictures even of the place that they camped at. Now, when other people use that pin and camp at that spot, they have the ability to update that. They can add their own comment or their own description, whether the road is deteriorated, whether it's closed. If there's now chains in front of the access road, then someone's gonna update that, say this place was closed. So once you start looking at these pins, you can kind of get an idea of what is available in a certain area. I was able to find dispersed camping out at Stewart's Point, which is 5 miles from the entrance to Valley of Fire State Park. There's no overnight camping in the park, so just outside of the park, BLM lands, national recreation lands. That's where I was in the last couple of nights, and it's super close to the park. That's a little bit of the rundown of my process that I go through for finding spots to camp at. Stay there. Now yes, there are some other resources out there that can be really useful. One of which that I have used in the past is called the Dyrt, D-Y-R-T. Now this is an online platform, but it's also on an app form, and you can pay like an annual subscription. It's like 36 bucks for the year to have access to their databases. This one for me is better for just general mapping of who owns what land. They have 3 different filters based on national park land, national forest land, and BLM land. There's also a nice feature on the Dyrt, and it lets you plan a trip. So you can plan the route. It'll show you the directions between one place and the next. It'll show you the campsites that you plan to stay at, and you can save that trip in that platform. And it's a good general route planning app if you have 10 days and you want to go this, make your route. It's all built into the app and it lets you do that right there on the platform. You ready to go? Ready to drive some more? Do you have something you want to say? Say it to the mic. Speak loudly. So in summary, here are the top 2 or 3 resources that I use when planning places to stay in my bus. Number 1, end all be all, almost, iOverlander. You can download the app, use it online. Number 2 is the Dyrt. It's a paid platform, but there are some useful features in there. And number 3, recreation.gov. Yes, that's where I book my campsites ahead of time if I know I'm going to be somewhere. This is most useful for me when I'm spending time with people that aren't in a van or aren't in a bus, because they don't really want to go camp in BLM dispersed land because there's no pit toilets, there's no water, there's no roads. It's real loose if you go tent camping in BLM land. I hope you found this helpful. This is my way of doing it. There's a million ways to do it, but this is what I have found works best for me and the size of the rig that I'm in. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you found that helpful and a little insight into how I plan my places that I park and my strategy for finding exactly what I'm looking for. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time here in the BBO bus. Bye.